So guys, I'm going to talk about my thoughts as an actor in the house. Certain tasks I had to carry out. The first thing being the shredding of the suitcases.
This is Big Brother. Will all housemates go outside into the garden, stand behind the barrier and put on their safety goggles?
Okay, with the shredding of the suitcases, going into the house, you have to be prepared for people to hate you. This task, this actor in the house wouldn't have worked if people hated me from the off, because then you're just immediately an isolated character and they wouldn't trust me. They needed to trust me so I could get in deep, get them to like me and find out their secrets and their lies and the true person. Now, with shredding the suitcases, it's an interesting one because all you have in that house are your belongings. That's your safety blanket. That's your currency, so to speak. You know, it's your identity. So when I destroyed all their suitcases, I had to be prepared for a backlash. And the way I prepared for that is to make Michael the postman just a guy who's not very good at making decisions, you know? He makes the wrong decisions, he acts before he thinks, but deep down he's a nice guy. That's how I got away with it. That's how people were angry, but then turned it around. So the next thing was my fiance that I left at the altar.
The majority of housemates chose A. I left my fiance the night before our wedding.
No, wait, I don't think it's that person. Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
Big Brother can now reveal Michael's secret is option A.
Yeah, but the thing is, Gina, I found out 2 nights before our wedding that she was cheating on me for 6 months. Now, with regards to that story, the public chose that. They were given an option of 3. They chose that I left my fiance the night before our wedding. Yeah, not at the altar, sorry. The night before our wedding. The thing is with that, I had to filter in some relationship stories during the day, bring up the topic of love and heartbreak and stuff like that. So when it eventually did come out, it wasn't too much of a shock. It could be believable. If I was to just suddenly blurt this out, they wouldn't believe me because then there's no backstory. Do you know, I had to create the images of me at the altar, me having an ex-fiance, me being heartbroken. It was things like that that you have to take into consideration. With something like my fiance being left at the night before her wedding, you have to be able to filter things like that in. They can't come suddenly. If they do come suddenly, they're just a shock to people, you know? So that was a very interesting one. Then there was the labels task. I choose Dan to be the sexiest because he's ripped. I don't fancy him. I just want to look
Why
like
would
a
you
girl,
pick
like a
that?
girl. So yes, I picked Dan.
Dad tried not to spark your
No,
he's onto something. Most annoying.
Now, the thing is, there was mixed reactions. People don't like being called boring. People don't like being called unattractive or unhygienic, of course. Wolfie had a big reaction, as you would. I personally think Wolfie's a lovely girl. She's a cracker of a girl, beautiful, interesting, unique. She'll go far in Big Brother. But being labelled as unattractive or unhygienic or boring, it comes as a shock. People don't want to hear these things about them. Even people who know themselves very well don't want to hear certain things. So again, I had to drop in seeds of what I thought during the day so that it didn't come as too much of a shock. With Wolfie, she thought she could trust me, Michael the postman. So when I was saying these things about her, it came as a massive shock. But again, you have to be prepared for the backlash. When I came down that stairs from the diary room after everyone was labelled with my thoughts, I had to be really thick-skinned and I had to be ready for some aggro. I had to have, you know, a suit of armour on, essentially, because at the end of the day, what was happening now is it was the breakdown. They were starting not to trust me. They thought I was a nice guy. And to stir things up even more, I had to have a change in character. So I went from the nice, nervous postman who just loves Big Brother to the nice, nervous postman who now wants to win Big Brother. So he became a game player, and nobody likes a game player in that house. So when they knew I was in it for the money, so to speak, they then saw my nasty side coming out, and they knew that they had a competitor on their side. So it really stirred things up, and I think it messed with them a lot. So guys, those were my thoughts about being in the house. It was a great challenge. I loved being part of Big Brother as an actor. It was a very unique experience, and thank you for your great suggestions. It really kept things going. And to think we're only at week 1. Keep watching Big Brother. I think we're in for a great, great summer.